And today we're reacting to 3 true Walmart horror stories animated. We love this series that we're doing here, the animated horror stories, you know what I'm saying? Last one was sickening. The last video in the Airbnb one, bro, if you don't know, that being said, pull to the Twitch, make sure you Monday was your Friday, 5, 6 p.m. Let's do it. Get into it, man. Y'all know I don't get scared on these. I never get scared. I never cover my face.
The story I'm about to tell is as true as the sky is blue. And even though it happened something like 15 years ago...
That means it's a lie because the sky is not blue. The sky is blue. The sky isn't actually blue, it's the water that reflects from the ocean onto the sky. So that means the story is fake as hell. I'm glad I cut it off. Y'all be easy. That being said, like the video, sub up, comment, mention the channel. I appreciate your great help. We're going to let's do it.
Now, I remember every detail flawlessly. I was just a high school dropout doing what it took to make ends meet. No glamour about it. Walmarts used to stay open way after dark, even in the desolate rural areas like I grew up in. I was hired in as...
That was peak Walmart. Shout out to all the Walmarts that still be 24, bro, if there are any. All the Walmarts after COVID, they shut closed on 11.
Some kind of all-around helper, doing anything and everything my bosses told me to. I tell you, I was busting my back. Most of the hours I spent in Walmart, I don't remember. I was working so hard that it all became a blur. Not many memorable occasions, except for one. There's one night I remember like it was yesterday. I'd been assigned to the clothing department for the second half of my shift, and the clock had just hit closing time. I'd spent all day sorting clothes, managing the fitting rooms, and running the register by myself. But it was finally time to start cleaning up and counting the bills in the register. I was right in the middle of counting up all the ones when the man in question stormed up to the counter with a hoodie and a pair of jeans crumpled up in his arms. He was filthy and...
Oh, no. Nah. We can't give you any service, sir. Nah, I can't give you any service, sir. I know you playing around. Where's the guy that follows people? Y'all ever had that guy, the secret shopper? He used to follow us. He caught my man stealing Kool-Aid one time. I know they following him.
Sweaty from the warm summer night, and his elbows and knees were all scraped up. He had a cross tattoo on his forearm with a bulging vein running across it, and he wore the most raggedy stained white tank top and shorts. He threw the clothes on the counter and demanded to buy them. Hey mister, I need to buy these clothes, alright? I got the money. I couldn't help but...
I didn't think you didn't have the money. See, you giving... I got the money for it. Anytime you go into an establishment, we assume you already had the money. I got the money. No, you clearly don't.
Roll my eyes. He made me lose track of the number I was on. I'm sorry, sir, but I just started counting the money in the register. I can't make any more transactions here. You'll have to go up to the front. You should hurry before they start closing. I don't have time for that. I need to buy these here. Now! I'm in a rush!
Sir,
I got a little freaked out by how suddenly his demeanor changed. I'd been working in that Walmart for long enough. I knew better than to aggravate a customer like him any further. So even though it was against policy, I rang him up with the about $300 in untraceable...
Man, I would never... Man, I would have got on that mic. Manager, I need a manager in the clothing section, manager in the men's clothing section. Thank you. 1 second, I'll have my manager come over here, bro. And then if he would have had to get hostile, we would have had to get hostile.
Cash sitting right behind the counter. The man handed me a torn and crumpled $20 bill, leaving him about $3 short. I gave him an apprehensive look, but decided to just accept it and make up the difference later with some change out of my own pocket. I would normally never do that, but honestly, I felt a little bad for the guy. He looked a lot rougher than most of the customers I saw on a daily basis, and that's saying something. As soon as I gave him back the clothes, he ripped off the tags and put the jeans and hoodie on right over the clothes he was wearing. It was nighttime, but it was still over 80 degrees outside, which made that action a little strange to me. But by then it was too late. Without a word, he ran out of the store. I tried my best to get the encounter out of my mind, but it was no use. Barely 10 minutes later, a whole army of cop cars came barreling into the parking lot. They locked down the entire Crossroads Plaza and came in questioning everybody in the store. They told everyone they were looking for a convicted killer who'd escaped from prison and was on the run. And when they gave the man's description, I kicked myself. The fugitive is a white male, late 40s, wearing a white tank top and shorts. He has a cross tattoo on his arm. If you believe you have seen this man, please come forward. I had no choice but to give them a statement. I let
He got his head on the officer's shoulder. This is what happened.
them know he'd hassled me at the register and changed his clothes.
Yeah, I seen him.
They had me come with them to check the store security
He was in a
cameras.
maroon jacket and green
I was
pants now.
extremely embarrassed, especially when the police saw how many breaks I gave the guy. But at least they were able to confirm that he was indeed the man they were looking for. To this day, I feel guilty about that night. I played in my head over and over again,
Get over
looking
it.
for ways I could have played my cards more responsibly. I can't shake the thought that if I just stalled him for a few more minutes, or if I'd stood my ground about store policy and made him go up to the front,
Now, you
maybe he
shoulda
would
did
have been
that.
caught. I'm always
That's just the ego thing, though. I would have been like, sir, no. And I'm not $3 not coming out of my check, bro. I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I need that money, bro. The gas is expensive. You feel me? During that time in my life where I was living like this, I was putting $5 in my tank, gang. That's 3 of the $5 that, nah, I can't do that. So, sir, we can't sell this to you.
baffled that he didn't steal the wad of cash I left sitting right in front of his eyes. I know he must have been tempted, but he probably thought better of it. The worst part is, after all these years, that man is still on the loose. But when I get too down on myself for all that, there's one thing I can remember that makes me feel a little better about myself. A few nights later, while that guy was still all over the news, the story broke out that the fugitive, some guy by the name of Richard, had actually been stopped by the police on his very first day on the run.
Hey, before we get back into the video, I got a way you can make some extra bread. I know you bored at home right now, bro. And all you have to do is play games and get paid for it. If you hit the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right now, you can sign up to freecash.com and start getting paid right now. And they make it extremely simple. First, just create an account like any other site and email and password. And once you get in, you'll see a wall of games and offers immediately. Pick a game that you actually like, play through the levels, and the cash will land straight into your free cash account. It's basically turning your downtime into a hustle without you even thinking about it. People pulling $10 to $20 a day, and with some effort, you can go way higher than that. You can spend a couple bucks in game to hit levels faster that'll ultimately give you bigger offers and payouts. That's the method on how some users end up making hundreds, even 500 or more on certain offers. But you don't have to spend any money. You can literally stick to the free levels and still cash out. The whole point is when you're taking a break from those Astral Dior videos, doom scrolling, looking at women, you could be playing and earning at the same time. Get to your money, bro. And once you run it up and want to cash out, you've got options of PayPal or gift cards. So if you want to get to that extra cheese, hit the link in the description or scan the code on the screen, sign up for free, and start playing for cash on your spare time. And when you use my link or QR code, you get $5 bonus to get you started, bro. Go ahead, get to it. Let's do it.
But he somehow convinced the cop that he was a jogger. A jogger on the hottest day of the year. I may have been reckless, but that cop who stopped him and let him walk was just plain stupid.
You live around here, buddy? Where you?
Oh, I've seen this. Yo, I've seen this.
What's your address?
I don't have an address.
What is? We got an escapee.
Where from?
A prison.
Prison here? No, I know.
You know the bad thing about it?
What's that?
You're matching up to him.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Do jog again in the future. Carry some ID with you.
All right.
That's
hey,
our quick.
That's incredible. That's crazy. Nah, you don't gotta feel bad, my brother. The cop dead said you matched the ID of him. Nah, just be easy though, man. We gonna find him. That's
Fine,
crazy.
man.
Have a good day now.
He just coerced the hell out of him. What? That was unnecessary.
When I was still in college, I worked part-time at the local Walmart to make ends meet. Nowadays, I'm extremely grateful that my degree has kept me in.
Whatever he reading, he's not living right. He all up in the newspaper. Look how hard he's gripping the paper. He is not living right, bro. He's doing something bad behind there. Peek behind that newspaper.
Employed in a more respectable career because I almost didn't make it out of my time at Walmart alive. I remember one night in particular when the danger came to a head. It was a Friday. I was taking a few hours to catch up on my studying before going out for the night.
What the hell that got to do with me? And mind you, if I'm sitting here relaxing on my, we need you to come into work. I can't make it. I'm sitting here relaxing. I got my, bro, she was too cozy, bro. She's reading a book with the snow. Bro, ain't no way I'm leaving this environment. I got me a hot cup of whatever. Boy, you must be absolutely out your mind. We need you to come to work because she didn't come in. Once I would have saw my boss calling, I would have flipped the phone over.
All right.
Closer and closer to that point. The turnover was high, for a good reason. The pay was minimum wage, and management was always taking advantage of the people who didn't walk out the door. People like me. When I showed up at around 9, I was glad to see that it was a slow night for a Friday. Back when I was working there, Walmart used to stay open far later than it does today. I could see why they made the decision to change their hours. I only saw about a dozen cars in the entire parking lot, and most of the customers were already checking out. Still, I was pretty sour about the whole thing. It wasn't like I was getting paid overtime for this. The next several hours dragged on uneventfully, until finally my manager made the closing announcement. Attention valued Walmart customers, the store is now closing. Please finish shopping and make your way to the checkout lanes. Thank you, and have a safe night. The way he delivered that announcement, you'd think he was a nice guy, but he was only that way to the customers, not with the employees.
Oh, and I know you a dickhead too? You think I'm coming to work when you call me on my date? Nah.
I checked out my last customer and was about to walk out the door for the night when he yelled at me.
Mad as hell.
Hey Sally, where do you think you're going?
Home?
I'm going home? I just clocked out.
No, you're not. Miriam's shift was 8 to close, so that means you're gonna help close the store.
This is what I have to say to my people that are working these jobs right here. You know, and this is easier said than done, but respect is everything. When you get to a job and you start a job or anything along the lines, do not let your boss. Now, there's certain things where you have to understand your boss or whatever is in a higher position than you, so you had to listen to what they do in a respectful manner. But your boss still must respect you. He must. He must say, you know, he must not speak to you. Where do you think you're going? If there's times where I had to say, hey, hold on, I understand that you're my boss and I'm going to respect you, but you also need to respect me. You don't talk to me like I'm a child, though. You know what I'm saying? And they will learn to not play with you. You feel me? They can't fire you for that. They have to learn to not play with you, bro. I would never do not, as people that are watching, if you have a boss or something like that, this comes with anybody in your life, you have to let people understand boundaries and where they can play with you, when they can't play with you. Co-workers, bosses, supervisors, it doesn't matter, bro. Do not let nobody, and they don't, if they're raising their tone at you, especially if you're not doing that. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. You feel me? I'm not your child. Hey, do not speak to me in that type of way, for real.
All right.
Because you don't, there's many jobs out here, and I know it's, like I said, jobs is different. It's weird right now. It's different when I was you could go and you could get you a job pretty easy back when I was younger, looking for jobs and stuff. I don't know how it is now. It seems like it's a little bit more difficult. But a Walmart position, I promise you could find you something very equivalent to a Walmart position. Don't let nobody disrespect you, bro.
What do you need me to do?
Well, for starters, walk around all the aisles and make sure all the customers are on their way out.
You got it, boss.
The store was probably all but empty by the time he made his announcement. I didn't see anybody until I got to the electronics section. But of course, when it's the dead hours of the morning and you're trying to close so you can go home and get some sleep, the one person left in the store is always the one person who gives the most trouble. He was just some old fat guy staring at the wall of TVs.
Closing.
At first, I thought it was strange that he could be fixated on the same minute-long action movie preview that constantly plays on the TVs, but I quickly realized that somehow there was something else playing on the one he was staring into. I approached him slowly.
Excuse me, sir. The store is
I'm
closed.
not getting close to him.
You'll have to leave and come back to buy that tomorrow.
He didn't answer to me. He didn't even move or blink or give any
Sir, do you hear me?
indication that he was aware of my presence.
Sir? Would you mind coming back tomorrow?
Not a single muscle
Let me
twitched.
get my manager.
He was engrossed into whatever he was watching. But I was ready to go home.
Sir, the store is closed.
Damn.
If you stay any longer, you will be trespassing.
Oh my god.
Just a moment, Sally.
My gosh. Oh, Sally. How you know my name?
I'm watching my favorite horror film. I gasped. I had no idea he knew my name. I had
your
already
name
clicked
tag.
off my name tag when I'd clocked out a few minutes before then. Maybe he'd heard my manager yelling at me.
Yeah,
Get out or I'm calling the cops!
He stared me down with the smuggest of looks, then finally turned and walked away. I let out a sigh of
Let
relief.
him walk by you like
With him
that?
gone, there was nobody left in the store, so I went ahead and started shutting down the television displays. I began with the TV that the creepy old fat guy was enthralled
What is
with.
he watching?
I only glanced at the screen enough to realize that there was some sadistic gore movie playing on it, not something management would be okay with. I quickly reached behind the TV and ejected the disc he'd left. It was a blank disc, home burnt, with the date written on it with a Sharpie. It was dated 2 days before that night. I pocketed the disc and went back to work until I was finally allowed to go home. But when I plopped down on my couch, I couldn't relax.
Why do you take that home? That's not going in my pocket. I would have threw that away. Where's the trash can? I would have went to my... Hey, he was watching something nasty. Here we go.
Something was lingering in the back of my mind. So I fished the disc out of my work pants and fed it into my DVD player.
What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah, you got it. What are you doing?
Immediately, my heart sank. There was no Hollywood reject. It was a homemade recording. And there were no actors. Only real people in mortal peril.
Get this off of my
A
screen.
real-life snuff film. And the unwilling stars were my co-workers. I watched in petrified horror as the girls I thought had skipped
I would imagine I probably shouldn't have that on the screen. Oh, that's why everybody been no call, no show, bro. Oh my gosh.
and eventually executed on camera.
Goodness
and at
gracious.
the end, the eyes of Miriam pleaded through the screen for help, but her mouth was taped shut. The things that man did to those girls, I
Why are you
just
watching
can't even
this?
talk
Call
about
the
it
police.
anymore. I'm sorry. It makes me sick to my stomach. And even after all these years, I'm still so paranoid that I'd run into trouble on my way home from work one
Call the
night
police?
and never show up again. Who was that man?
And you kept working at Walmart. There's no loyalty to no job. I got work in the morning. What the fuck? Stupid ass.
And why did he even have the nerve to play this disc at the Walmart that was supplying his victims? I panicked. I quit the next day and never looked back. I also reported the disc to the police, but nothing ever came out of it. Every
told you.
night I
There he
contemplated
is.
whether I was next.
Nobody grips our newspaper that strong, man. I told y'all.
After all,
I told
he
y'all.
knew my name.
Nobody grips newspaper that tight unless they doing devious work.
I used
Listen
to
to your
work
boy
at a
Dior,
Walmart
man.
before I got fired for a headphone-related incident. I worked in the clothing department, and since Walmart isn't exactly known for its hot fashion, it was generally pretty slow. Aside from folding and hanging up clothes,
Oh my gosh, that used to be the worst part. I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods. That was so ass because you could fold up something and they will dead flip that and I have grabbed the short from the bottom, let everything fall, and then walk off. dead in your face, bro.
There wasn't much else
Shout
to
out all
do.
my retail workers, everybody that's working in a retail right now. You know what I'm saying? If you watching this, let me see y'all in the comments, bro. Because I was with y'all. I've done all the jobs. I feel like some YouTubers, they haven't experienced like certain things in regular life. I'm not far disconnected from that. You feel me? I had the hard jobs. I worked the jobs that nobody wanted to work. I did that.
That's
Shout
why I
out to
picked
y'all.
up the habit of hiding my AirPods behind my hair and listening to music to get through the boredom of my
there you go,
shifts.
W method.
I was fully aware that this was against company policy,
Don't
but
matter.
I didn't really care. I would have quit from the lack of stimulation alone if it weren't for my music. And it wasn't like my supervisor was around much anyway. I don't think they ever would have known if it weren't for the major incident which got me fired. The day started like any other. I finished the task left over from the previous shift and got settled into my usual spot by the fitting rooms, folding the same 10 articles of clothing over and over again, while tucked into a corner in which I'd only be seen by customers who were already in the fitting room aisle. It took almost an hour before I got my first customer. Hello, sir. I'd like to try on these clothes, please. He had about 5 or 6 articles of clothing, so I handed him a tag numbered 6 and pointed him down the aisle as I gave him my usual customer service voice. All the rooms are available. Hang this outside your door to let others know your room is occupied. Well, thank you very much. After waiting a few seconds for a response he didn't get, he gave up and took the first door on the left. Even on slow days, the business came in waves, so it wasn't more than a minute later before the next customer
Why everybody that come in here high as hell, dirty ass clothes, unshaved?
approached me. At a glance, I could tell there was something a little off about the guy. He didn't seem like the type of person that would usually buy clothes, like at all.
So
But it didn't
homeless?
matter to me. I treat all customers with the same level of hospitality.
Shout out to you.
Can I?
Hey, oh, wait, hey, excuse me, sir. Need you to back up, blowing that hot breath in my face, talking about hell. Nah, don't do that. Get away from me.
Get in one of those rooms? The guy
Alright.
had far more than 10 articles of clothing, which is the limit per customer. But there was no way I was going to argue with him over it. So I just handed him a tag number 10 and sent him on his way away from me.
Why y'all so scared of customers? That's over the limit, sir. You can't have 10. 5 items per. I can hold the other 5 up here for you if you want them.
All the rooms except the first one on the left are available. Hang this outside your door to let others know your room is occupied. He took the tag slowly, like he wasn't sure if it was some kind of trap or not. Then he went into the second room on the left. I knew that was weird, because most people would put a little more space between themselves and the people changing next to them. The fitting rooms were more like stalls. The walls don't go all the way down to the floor and they don't reach the ceiling. But there was nothing I was willing to do about it. That alone was not a good enough reason to interrupt somebody while they were changing. So I just went back to
You a
folding,
good
waiting
worker.
for them to come out and give me more clothes to fold. A few minutes in, my favorite song came on shuffle.
He was
I
smelling his
discreetly
armpits.
turned the volume up a few notches, just to jam out a little bit for the one song. Then I turned it back down so I could hear new customers approaching. That's when the weird guy came out. I thought it was strange how he came out before the other guy, considering he had so much more clothes. He had all the clothes jumbled up into one tangled mess, which he plopped down on the cart in front of me. Thank you. Have a blessed day. He sounded
You all right?
out of breath, like he'd just done a fitting room speed run. He gave me a good look at the bloodshot white of his eyes, then tore his gaze away and
Like you
walked
need a
off in a
doctor.
rush. I shrugged. Oh well, just another day of dealing with Walmart shoppers. But as I was folding
None
up
of
the
them
clothes
clothes
he
stank.
just dropped off,
Ugh.
I noticed something I'd never seen before. Not even at Walmart. There were bloodstains smeared all over the clothes. Little ones at first, just an eye-catching dab or two. Then more and more towards the bottom, until the last shirt was nearly soaked in red. I began to panic, pausing my music to hear my quickened breath. I put aside the clothes and walked down the aisle. The number 6 tag was still hanging on the thick
Sorry, y'all. I stopped the recording, but
6
basically,
tag was still hanging on the first door. And beneath it, a thick pool of
but it was
blood
leaking.
seeping
I was
out.
saying basically that's not his fault though. You know what I'm saying? The guy that was in there should have been strong enough to fight off offenders. You feel me? And get out of there. And that means he got the drop on him. Like, That means he crawled from underneath the stall, bro, and you didn't catch him. Skill issue.
Into the aisle. I pushed open the door, revealing the source. The nice
Dang, he just did him some dirt.
stuffed into the corner
Oh
with his
my
face torn to
gosh.
shreds. Still spilling in the mirror. A message had been written in it by hand. The writer's fingerprints visible in the coagulation.
What's that say?
The parting words of the killer read, "The devil made me do it."
Oh nah, I rebuke
Needless
thee.
to say, I got fired that day.
What the?
But I don't care. I don't even care that they caught the guy the same.
God,
All I can think about when I remember that day is, how could I have let
they
it?
fired you that same day. They fired you. You got in trouble for that, bro. You could get money for that, bro. Y'all fired me because somebody came in there and hurt somebody. Well, I mean, under your supervision, you the stall manager. You got to be staring under. Sir, you okay? Just coming in to check. You all right, bro? You was working.
Happen. If I'd just been
I'd be
doing my
damned if y'all
job,
fired me 'cause
if
he
I'd
got killed
only
in
been
there.
paying just one little bit of attention, I could have heard that man being murdered. Maybe then, I could have done something to stop it. Maybe.
Bro, the way he tore him up, you didn't have to stand a chance to get that boy. The way he tore him down, put his brain on the carpet, you wouldn't have stood a chance. That being said, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like the video, so comment on the channel. I appreciate y'all. Great for y'all. We gone, man. ATE, let